Hello and welcome to the third episode of BSRA. My name is Snowy and I'm currently ranked 24 on the global score Saber leaderboards. Yes, I know I dropped a bit. If you haven't seen the previous video, this series is supposed to be a deep dive into a specific Beat Saber replay. I'll be talking about the player, commentating over the replay, and going over certain parts of the map. So hopefully this series will help you guys have a better understanding of how top plays are made and how you can improve. This week's episode is going to be a little bit different than the other ones. Instead of looking at a single replay, I'll be looking at 3 separate replays and just picking out the important parts from all of them. I realize that in my videos I usually have a few minutes of really good info and then a bunch of minutes where I don't really say anything useful. So in order to reduce the length of these videos, I thought maybe I'd just pick out the parts from multiple replays and then focus on the player and how to improve. So I got a Discord message a little while ago from a player and also a mapper named Aithke, who said that he felt like he was playing extremely bad and needed help finding ways to improve. So today I got Aithke's permission to use 4 of his replays on the ranked maps: Flat World Plain Asia, Seiten no Teriyaki, Ghost, and Routine. I was able to find all that I needed in 3 of those replays, so today we're just going to be going over Seiten no Teriyaki, Ghost, and Routine. In this episode, I'm going to be talking less about the specific maps and more about how to improve at certain skills required for these maps. First off, we have Seiten no Teriyaki. I'm going to play this 43-second clip of Aithke playing and then discuss afterward the ways he could improve. While you're watching this clip, I want you to watch for how many times you see the word miss and how many times you see a big X symbol. If you don't already know the difference, I want you to try and see if you can spot the difference between what causes a miss and what causes that X symbol. In Beat Saber, there are 4 ways to lose your combo. You can step into a wall, you can slice a bomb, you can miss, or you can get a bad cut. We're going to ignore bombs and walls for this video because they really aren't as interesting as misses and bad cuts. A miss occurs whenever your timing is off. This means you try to slice a block at the wrong time. Whenever you're playing Beat Saber, your eyes are looking at the notes, and your brain is registering what your eye has seen and trying to send a signal to the correct arm or wrist to tell it to move and hit the note. If you can see the notes for longer, your brain has a longer time to process the color and direction of each note and send a signal to the correct arm. If you only see the notes for a split second, your brain has to work really quickly to tell your arm to move. A bad cut occurs whenever you hit a block, either with the wrong saber color or in the wrong direction. I'll talk more about bad cuts soon. Seiten no Teriyaki is a hard map for 3 reasons. Number 1, the notes come at you very quickly. This map has a note jump speed of 24, which is much faster than normal custom maps. Therefore, your brain doesn't have much time to process each note. Number 2, there are a lot of notes. Therefore, your brain has to process lots of notes at a time. And number 3, the rhythm and patterns are hard. This map is complicated. There are polyrhythms intertwined with doubles, intertwined with triplets, and streams. It's not easy to keep track of the constantly changing patterns at this speed. So how can you improve on a map like this? As I see it, there are 2 easy options. Number 1, use the practice plugin to establish a baseline note speed that you can get used to. That means whenever you practice maps, try playing them at 24 note jump speed. It will get you used to that speed so that your brain is better at processing notes at these fast speeds. And number 2, play maps with complicated rhythms that are hard to read. Mappers like DE125, Fraies, Saut, Shwnk, and Cooling Closet are great examples of mappers who create complicated maps with difficult rhythms. I recommend practicing maps made by them in order to improve on complicated rhythms and patterns. I'll link some good maps in the description below. In this replay, I want to talk about what I call Saber wobble. I'm going to play this 1-minute clip, and instead of focusing on the notes, I want you to watch the difference in swings of Aithke's left and his right sabers. Which hand is more steady? which hand has smoother swings. You'll probably be able to tell which hand he is more confident with. I define Saber wobble as the amount of positional variation in your swings in the direction perpendicular to your swing. So what I mean by that is, if I'm trying to swing up and down, Saber wobble is the amount my saber moves left and right. Or if I'm swinging to the side, the amount my saber moves up and down. Players like Taichi have a very little saber wobble, meaning that when he swings his sabers quickly up and down, there is very little deviation from the center of his swing. This helps him avoid bad cuts because his sabers aren't accidentally wobbling into the positions of other notes. This also helps him get high accuracy as his sabers will naturally move toward the center of blocks. Aithke plays on the Oculus Rift. He told me that he uses two different grips. He uses K grip for his right hand and Agoza's grip for his left hand. Grips in Beat Saber matter a lot. Lots of people say it's just comfort, but there are fundamental differences in the ways we swing based on what grips we have. So if you have an Oculus CV1 and you're using K grip, you're going to swing differently than someone who's using palm grip or O grip or Agoza's grip. I think that with this new set of ranked maps, we're just kind of starting to get to the point where what grip you use can have a serious impact on things like stamina, accuracy, and speed. So everyone has different sized hands, wingspans, heights, etc. So I can't tell you which grip is perfect for you, but what I can say is that if you're a die-hard fan of one grip and you find yourself having major difficulties swinging in a certain way, try changing it up. I only bring this up now because Aithke said he uses two different grips for each hand, and his swings are very different on both hands. His left hand has much more saber wobble than his right. Let's say you either don't want to change grips or you change grips, but you still have saber wobble. How can you keep your non-dominant saber more steady? Well, how did your dominant hand get so steady? Deliberate mapping practices and patterns have forced us to favor one hand over the other. Luckily, some of you might not know, but there's an option built into Beat Saber which allows you to efficiently and easily train your non-dominant hand. It's called left-handed mode, and it's literally a checkbox in the player settings. This option will invert the map so that all notes on the right will be flipped to the left side and all the colors of the notes will be inverted. So a blue note on the right turns into a red note on the left. This is perfect for training your offhand and therefore reducing saber wobble. I highly encourage users to take advantage of this option. This last map is the song Routine by Silent Siren. Unfortunately, this song is very often the cause of copyright strikes on YouTube, so for safety, I have to mute the audio. Maybe we can edit in some non-copyrighted elevator music or something. But anyway, the last thing I want to talk about, I've already talked about in the last episode, but this is something that I want to mention again because it's so important. I'm going to commentate over this clip, and I want you to watch the position of his right saber relative to the blue blocks he's hitting. Focus on where his right saber is aiming. So what you should see is that Aithke is going to be hitting directly in between lanes 3 and 4. This will cause him to get almost no accuracy points on any of the blocks in lane 3 and lane 4. Players tend to focus so hard on either their left hand or their right hand that whichever hand they aren't focusing on is just kind of idly swinging. It looks so obvious in hindsight, but when you're playing you barely even notice. This goes back to the brain thing a little bit. If you can process where your saber is supposed to be faster, you can focus on the next note faster. In addition to getting used to playing fast maps, I would also recommend that Aithke practice accuracy maps. If he happens to be focusing on a block and still not getting above 110 points, then that's an issue, and playing accuracy maps can help with that kind of thing. I'll link a playlist of accuracy maps in the description below. What I like to do personally is start off any play session by playing accuracy maps to get warmed up, and then over time, I transition to maps that I want to get a high score on. Then, after my performance starts falling off, I transition to speed and reading maps where accuracy doesn't matter as much. Adopting this type of play session format will hopefully help you effectively train all types of skills. So that's just about it. Once again, my name is Snowy. If you enjoyed or want to give any feedback, you can leave it in the comments below or shoot me a DM on Discord at SSnowy1549. If you want me to go over a certain map or topic, just mention it in the comments below. Or if you want me to analyze your replays, message me on Discord. Thanks for watching again, and I'll see you guys next time.